Hey there, EverlongMystic here. This is going to be a Loki Pokey reading for the sign of Ophiuchus, and it's very interesting. It's a little bit juicy, a little bit harsh. Um, if you want to learn more about the spread and the placements, I do have a link in the description box that takes you to the LIFFRUMA website to Rustle with Rustling Around's post on the Loki Pokey spread and all that good stuff. So let's get started. So the first card here, this placement is basically the one that kind of calls you out, and it talks about like a shadow aspect, something you ignore, something that you ignore, deny, sweep under the rug, that you just don't admit or don't want to look at. So we have Cosmic Surge, and immediately when I pulled this card over, I was like, oh man, this is. I want to say it's like for a shadow aspect of this is gatekeeping. And I did get a little bit of kind of like a ego vibe with the gatekeeping. Like, I'm an expert. I know more than you. I know better. You're not ready to know this. I know this, or stuff like that. Um, which was shocking. I actually did not expect this. But anyway, interesting. So we have some kind of gatekeeping that you are not admitting to or not addressing. Either that or it's like some kind of air of superiority in a way. And without addressing that shadow aspect, this is what you're blocking from your life. And what came out was the sacral. This is the magical 13th rune of the mystical you, and that is, I mean, to block this is kind of a big deal, you know? I mean, some of the other signs had something pretty important that they were blocking, like their own destiny, or you know what I mean? Um, so here it's like, and it's interesting because it talks about the inner wood of you may rot, yet fortifying from within a new stem plumps the trunk back up. Ancient witness of hidden sacred wisdom. That's the key right there. Witness of hidden sacred wisdom. I think that it's almost like that sacred wisdom is what is, it's like related to this gatekeeping, except that you're actually blocking it from yourself. Which means like it's almost like you're gatekeeping nothing. It's weird. Um, it's like you, to me, this feels like energetic. Um, it may not be like physically, like you physically like saying those things or whatever, but it could just be like an energetic vibe or something. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But whatever this, keeping this cosmic surge, or keeping the cosmic surge from others or something like that, it's like you're literally blocking it from yourself. And so, and it's funny because you have like 14 and then 13, which is a step backwards. And here we have this placement here. This is how Loki pokes you, and this is a harsh poke. It's heartache, throb, and it is, to me, for you in this reading. This feels like, it makes me feel angry. Like, if I were to be poked like this by Loki, I would be so pissed off. It's like when hurt turns into anger. like being the victim of something, and instead of like crying about it, you're just so angry, like divine rage kind of thing. Because here, like, it talks about sobbing and throbbing and dread and, fangs that pierce deep and all these like horrible feelings, right? And like you're crying out, why? And then it mentions like this deep dark hole that opens wider, and then anger tangles itself around, and it just victimizing you, and it just it's a terrible feeling. And I think that how Loki pokes you here is by, I don't know, like it's like instances of like just like negative talk, and like basic like negative talk could be one way, but also just literally opening up this crevice so that everything that you have been like super angry about, like unfair, mistreated, shit on, all that stuff, like that you just kind of placated over, like it opens it up to allow it to be dealt with, right? So like really, it's not so much gatekeeping that is the shadow that needs to be addressed. It's actually the be it's like a victim, like feeling you're a victim when maybe you're not, or maybe you don't have to be. And it's just dealing with that anger. It's hidden anger. And so here, this placement here is kind of like either your reaction or how you feel about it, how you feel about being poked this way. And you have 12th static needs, and it's like you go straight back to 3D. It's almost like you get poked, and then you go straight back to here. Like it's weird. It's like you do the same thing over again. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm getting that from this, but as soon as I turn this over, it's like, oh, you do it again. It's like you go straight back to gatekeeping. Kind of like if I can't be happy, no one else can. Or I don't know, it's weird. And again, it's like with the numbers. You go from a 14 to a 13 to a 12. It's like you're regressing backwards. It's like this pain right here is so intense. It's almost like your subconscious will do whatever it can to keep this from you. And it's like Loki's trying to tell you that you actually can deal with it. You can release it. You can move on from it. Because that's really what this is about. It's like this that you're keeping from yourself. This is yours. It's meant for you. It's like to be hooked into your consciousness, completely hooked in, and to really like tap into that ancient wisdom. You're meant for that. And so down here, we have this placement is something that you need to explore in order to release, right? So obviously we're releasing some kind of divine anger here, and we have leaf unfurl. And again, the number, I'm looking at the number 14, 13, 12, 11. Like there is something for you that has to do with going backwards. And I don't know if this is like retracing your steps or like going back to find the root of something, like a root cause. But there's something very significant here about like the sequential numbers going backwards. 14, 13, 12, 11. But we have here leaf unfurl, and it's like unfurling something tender. Like there are, basically it's just saying that it's time to explore those tender parts that tend to be curled up and covered up. You know what I mean? It's time to gently unfurl and just explore them a little bit to see which ones make you feel like a victim, which ones piss you off so bad, you know? And here, this is where Loki is taking you, and I do like that it's a torch, it's the divine spark. But the thing is, though, it's like you've got to go into this dark space here. I think another sign had something similar, but for them it was they were listening to too much outside noise, and they needed like dark silence. But for you, you need to be enrobed in darkness too, but it's because you need to go into this dark space and explore the tender parts, right? So here it's like, because that's where you find the divine spark, and that's where Loki's trying to lead you. It says, paused but dripping with anticipation in the doomed gloom, there's just the gleaming glow of a flame billowing, waiting to fire up, to spark, to ignite. Below the light that aches into all the corners to illuminate. It's like that's where Loki's taking you. He's trying to get you to illuminate to spark your spark, right? By illuminating some of these tender parts, so that you can be completely hooked in. So you don't have to do, so you don't have to go, to gatekeep or to keep things from yourself or to, I don't know what it's called, like when you've got certain behaviors that you do that you're not even aware of, but it's because of something else, like 2 steps away, removed from it or something, you know? I mean, this could be intentional, but maybe not for all of you. You know what I mean? And so the last placement here, it's about what you must embrace in order to kind of renew and refresh. And there is kind of like like this leaf unfurling. It is a little bit like, refreshing and new and delicate, right? And here it's like you take that delicate and you make it firm. I'm just seeing like a firmness with this grip. But the thing is, just because it's firm doesn't mean it's not delicate. It's weird. It's like this, like there's still a fragility here, but it's stronger in a way. Like if you read the card, it says newly born. I mean, a newborn is fragile. They're frightened, right? They're not sure what they're doing or whatever. But here it's talking about learning to walk while holding consciousness in its vessel. And that's something to do with this here, because like here you're the whole point of Loki poking you is to get this back to you, to be completely hooked into your consciousness, right? And it's like you're gonna, if you can deal with this get hooked into your consciousness, then then you can learn to walk in the 3D, because we have this 12th here. You can learn to walk in the 3D, holding consciousness in your vessel. And it says being caught out by life, but thriving and breathing deep. It's like, it's okay to be naive. And it's funny that it says that, kind of like it's like being naive, because there's nothing wrong with that. And I know like like for some people, like just people in the world where like they are gatekeeping certain things, they want people, it's because they want people to be naive so that they look better. They look smarter, wiser, whatever. But it's funny because it's like turning the tables. Like you see, it's like flip, it's you're turning the tables here on yourself. But it's like it's not bad, or I don't know, it just is. Is. But anyway, this is the refreshment that you can have if you embrace being new at something. I think that's the key there. It's like embrace being new at something. It's like you don't have to be an expert at anything. There's a lot going on here. This is a lot. All right, so this is your Loki Pokey message, and I thank you for being here, and I'll see you later.